Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live FB of Martin T.F. Wong. Welcome again. Thank you for joining us tonight. And tonight, definitely keeping up with the current trend that we see on the KLSE. And many of you who have come in tonight, thank you for your time. And definitely tonight, I'm going to share with you something that will put you in the right spot to take advantages or at least be aware of the changing landscape that we've seen in the political side of it and keep you up to date with the current news that we have seen so far. Thank you for sharing tonight, and a very good evening to all of you. Thank you for coming tonight. Definitely we are in a very special situation right now where we have potentially a breakout from where we are in the KLSE or more downward moves. What do you think, and what have you seen so far from the market? Do share this in your Facebook, in your timeline. I really appreciate that, and we shall get to it very soon. Just want to share a few more of my posting in here to other groups, and if you find that some of the information that we presented will benefit you, do share it out, and do join us in some of our live and free talk tonight. That's right. So we are just waiting for a couple more minutes for people to come in to settle in here. And if you have any pressing questions that you really want to be answered in, kind of immediately, do pencil in it on the left hand side, and we will get down to it. But as usual, the typical stock trades and what do I think about this stock, we will do it in our breakfast show. That's right. But tonight is definitely dedicated to this topic, which I'm going to talk about in here. Thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for spending your precious time with you. So I want to make sure that the time that you well spend with us, you'll be given all the necessary information that enable you to make a good decision going ahead, whether what we have seen so far in the KLSE, it is going to be positive or not. All right. Thank you so far. Thank you for coming, and give me a thumbs up if we at Trade VSA together with my coaches Zach and Arif been doing a great job to supplement you during this so-called lockdown with a bit of relief, I suppose, now that many of our businesses has been reopened right now in here. All right. Thank you. All right. Shall we get started? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another live FB talk. Tonight it's 9:30. That's the 25th of August, and we will be exploring some of the information that we have seen. We already have our 9th Prime Minister, Dato Ismail Sabri, been sworn in on the 21st of August, and a lot has changed. And let me just bring you up to speed in terms of the change of the politics, whereas how does it impact the KLSE? I think that's also important. What kind of counters do you want to know of? And going forward, where is this likely to lead to? Or is what we see right now, the KLSE, this big 16-point move that we have today when the market closed, as well as on on Tuesday, the 24th of August, the 32-point. Is this a change in the pace what we have seen so far? So I'm going to bring you through all and up. And of course, those of you who have not joined our Telegram, and those of you who are first time, do type in one there, so at least I know you are the first time in here. And do join our Telegram chat room to be informed for all our information, stock trade idea, and educational program too. And of course, tonight this recording will be archived in our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe and not to miss out any of our YouTube, which we cover very ranging sectors, political situation, and also opportunities. And of course, not to forget our SMARTRobie. For those of you who have, we are coming up with a very special on the 31st of August on SMARTRobie, so check it out in here. Something that we really want to share with you guys. If you do not have a SMARTRobie for the investing apps and trade idea, do check it out from our Google Play Store. That's right, and you do get of course, let's look at the KLCI where we are right now, and looking at it for the last 2-year trend that we've seen in here. And this is actually was picked up by Star Paper. You could see we actually doing, let me just bring this here, okay, and this is the pen. So we were at COVID, okay, we were at COVID here, And that's a laser pointer. Let me just bring up my pen first. Yes, this was a COVID low. All right, we were the COVID-19 low. The market went down to 1,000. Of course, many people were afraid. And then we have the recovery way back in April, right? And this drop here was only about 1.5 months, okay? And that's how that market drop have been. But it took almost, another 8 months before the market recovered. And then we hit a new high way back in January and February 2021, and then the market muzzle long on in here. This is where the COVID-19 with the Delta variant continued to come, and we are right at this spot on the 16th of August. Of course, the last 2 days we have seen this market rifle up in here, and what's actually happening in here is the market being very receptive to this new Prime Minister. What do you think? Type it in there. Do you think our ninth Prime Minister, Dato Ismail Sabri, is a special Prime Minister meeting and that's why the market goes up, or is it something else? All right, let's examine it now. Let me just remove this, and you can see it here. Now on the 16th of August, you can see on Star Business where the foreign funds, the local institutional, they were all yelling, we need liquidity. Bursa in dire of need of liquidity, because like it or not, our market, the way it moved, it relied heavily on foreign funds coming back in here. So that was a time of news. And even if you look back as of July, like I just explained just now in here, we did hit a high this year sometime in January, February 2021, and since then the market has been going down, and this is partly due to the foreign funds been leaving. And as of July 2021, you can see from this news article, foreign ownership of Malaysian equity has crashed to the historical low of 20%. That's right, 20%. And usually we are about 30. The highest we can get about 38-40%, and that's significant a lot. When you have a lot of foreign fund, a lot of liquidity, that's really good, because like it or not, there's only three parties in Malaysia. You got the foreign funds, you got the local institutional, and you have the retailer. If you don't have the foreign fund, then it's between the retailer and the local institution. They will fight it out, and guess what? Who loses in the end? So one party have to buy, one party have to sell. And also take note, when the foreign funds were leaving between sometime in February and all the way to July, market sentiment and continued. The COVID-19 play a big part of it, the Delta variant, and also the geopolitical situation where we have many of the opposition in there, and they were we have this Dato Zahid were asking Prime Minister at that time, the 8th Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin, to resign, and that keep going on. Then we have also, remember, Parliament was suspended, then a martial law was also thrown in, and that's what we saw previously, this market sliding in here since somewhere, let me just turn this off here, somewhere in when we enacted the suspension of the Parliament. So that's kind of take place. Right now the Parliament reopened. Are we going to see this nice surge up in here? As I said before, foreign funds are coming back in here. Now also, this is on the news today that the reopening of the economy, it's the most upper. I'm going to give you also economic rundown after this, how it's been seen by foreigners in here. And this is definitely from the Affin Hwang Asset Management Senior Director of Agri, Mr. Gan here said that, look, like it or not, we need to get out from what we have been in a hole. We need to start our economy going on, the SOP, it's important in seeing it. And maybe this news were the one that sort of brought in the foreign fund coming in here. And he did say that the silver lining is that finally, two things. The political situation where Muhyiddin was very unhappy with many of our Malaysian voters, also by the opposition, he has been removed. But one more thing which is left to be answered is the COVID. Now we do see today also hit almost another high, also the COVID cases, 22.6k. But the Kuala Lumpur is the one that is most important that you should focus on, because that talks about the vaccination. So far in Kuala Lumpur, I heard there's only 18 deaths from 1,000 plus COVID cases in here. That number has to drop to maybe below 10 or 11. Then you will see this case very similar to what we saw in UK and some parts of US that has been vaccinated. That means the vaccination are taking up place. Of course, places that are outside of Klang Valley like Sabah, Sarawak, Kedah and Penang are experiencing very high COVID cases. This is also due to the Delta variant and also the slower rollout of the vaccination in here. So we need to see evidence of sustainability of the vaccine program that's been on in Selangor as well as Kuala Lumpur. Of course, Kuala Lumpur, the figures are available in here. That tells you eventually how this country will eventually roll out in here, all right? So also that's important. And right today, we have seen the FKLI surge to 2-month high in here. That's right, breaking the 1520. As I said before, if you look at the chart wise, which I'll share with you after this, right, it is important to see the market breaking the 1520. No doubt the market actually broke all the way to 1569. That's how fast is it. Why? Because the foreign fund is coming back in here. I'm just going to share with you in here. Now, this is part of our offering in here. Let me just try to log in to our foreign funds. That's right. Now, if you have this, okay, this is our so-called pro dashboard. For some of you who have subscribed to it, our pro frost and there's some information those of you like to. This is where the daily, all right, the foreign fund flow that you see here. Now, of course, it is a very interactive chart, so you can see what we have previously, right? We have the outflow of minus 120 million. This was at the lowest point where we saw foreign fund flows on July. Remember, we talked about July, and we have minus 325 million. Then somehow they know something about this, so they were already started to buy somewhere around here. You could see that was on the mid-August. Maybe the foreign funds know something that we all don't know, which is the removal of the Prime Minister. They were started to buy. They did buy earlier on, started in early July, but the big move was definitely yesterday. That's why we saw that 32-point surge. Definitely today we saw this another 16 points up, and this would be around another maybe 100 million foreign fund buying. So as long as the foreign fund buying, you can see this is a KLCI 1553, 154. All right, this will sort of swing back out due to foreign fund buying. Now the question is, will foreign fund continue to buy on? Now this is also going to be pending to the day-by-day news that we've seen a lot, right? Definitely one of the news we saw just before the market closed. We have the Pakatan Harapan leaders met up with the 9th Prime Minister in here. They were talking about in here. So having said that, so definitely the uncertainty of the political has been removed, which is good. That's why you see the foreign funds coming back in here. But one more is the COVID-19. That's what I am looking at, the COVID-19 recovery that we see in Kuala Lumpur and also in Selangor. If Selangor could perfectly come down, then we'll see more foreign funds coming in. If you look across to the Singapore side, where we see the economy are reopening and Singapore borders are opening also to Germany, countries that is fully vaccinated or almost achieving vaccination, they are opening. We can see the economy are recovering. So two things which is uncertain in our market. Definitely one is the political situation, which has been removed, right? Because now we have the 9th Prime Minister and he's trying to make goodies with everybody else, including the opposition, which we will talk about it shortly after this. So this is the so far prognosis that tells why the foreign funds is coming back right now that we see. Of course, the KLCI, you saw this Pentagon guided much earlier. Let me just bring this up here. So on the early sign, you can see here when the first green Pentagon were ahead of everybody. So Pentagon, again, mathematically driven, knowing smart money were buying. And of course, I did talk about this old resistance, which in my breakfast show here, the upthrust, and the upthrust. And taken out of the upthrust is seen as a set of strength coming in here. Now, right now, where this market break up, it is already somewhere here around 50.63. So I do note that market is likely going to correct and what we call pullbacks, okay? This is a part where we're going to have pullbacks, and for those of you who came to our masterclass, the pullback, definitely you can look at some of the examples that we share with you in here. Definitely our coach Fu was going to take you through in some of it in our Telegram chat room. So take note, what we have seen right now, this market has bottomed up, right? But I do see that minor corrections, okay, will be here pretty soon, right? And this evening we have some of the large cap stock also break up in here. Do you agree with what I've just said in here? If you do, just type it in there, because what we are showing in here is likelihood the market has broke up, and also we are getting more participation coming in as many people were sleeping in their slumber, right? The market, now take note, when the market was here at this point, let me just bring this, my pen here. Right, this was where the market down, right? So when the market is down, most people sort of fall asleep here, okay? Therefore also they don't trade. When they see this green pentacle, they don't trade. But when they see this one, the 36 point shoot up, say, oh, I want to be in, right? So this is normally where we call the unskilled, okay? Many unskilled people, right, will start to be buying here. So normally when they buy, smart money will tend to what? Because they already been buying here, here, and here. Alright, so here they will start to distribute. So no surprises if you see minor correction going in back in here. Of course, can the market go higher? It's important going forward what we see in the terms of volume, okay? So that's why we always talk about price and volume, those of you who know about it. Alright, let's move on to our next is the, this is something new, and this is something that we intend to showcase to you, is the Bursa 30 price movement in here. So this is as of the timeline is 5:15 in here. Today you could see press metal had a 4.5% up move. Of course, if you look later, I'll show you how this thing works. The DG was 1.8%. So this will actually tells you the whole picture of our Bursa. This is what we call a tree map or heat map. That way we can see only one share went down, which is more than 2%. Is Mr. DIY down 2.63%. Pet Duck was down 2%. Genting Malaysia, Sam Darby was up significantly, but Press Metal, Tenaga, Maxis, IOI, they were up more than 2% in here, Axiata. So this what shows our market went up by 16 points. Now this is important to see where Bursa is going, especially those of you who wanted to trade the futures. Now take note of this, what we call the heat tree map, and you're able to see what are those components in there. And typically if you do see a little bit of pink, little bit of light green, that tells you the market is sort of nowhere to be found. But right today, the big heavyweight was Press Metal and Tenaga, and that's why you saw this 16-point move. But take note, if you notice here, also the banks hasn't moved yet. And if you can see here, Public Bank, just I'm blocking, you cannot see right on top here, you can see Public Bank and the banks are not moving up yet, okay? So when you have the banks starting to move up, then you will see I think the Maybanks are very small moves, so you can't see. Yeah, the Maybank is just behind me, okay? You can't see. It's only a 0.1%. So when you see those banking stocks start to move up, there will be another up move in here. Of course, finally, if the bank stock were to have a big move, then you'll see breaking back to the 1600 level in here. I think that we have reached the bottom of it. Do you agree with what I've said? If you agree with that, give me a thumbs up and tell me what you have seen so far in here. So this is quite a good map for you to have a good feel of the market. Now let's dwell into the politics of Malaysia. That's right. Now, if you look in terms of the politics in here, I always cannot help myself by looking at this picture where you've seen the so-called 3 ex-prime minister plus 1 who never make it, and we all know Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, the old man of politics in UMNO. We have many of them in here. You can also see even the current Prime Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri is never been in the picture of the UMNO. He came in as one of the outlier in my opinion. And he was never been always a player, but he was always been faithful to his cause. He has his own set of controversy. You can always follow this on Wikipedia, but he has been a very loyal and staunch supporter of Muhyiddin, both from the Bersatu and also from the UMNO in here. All right. Of course, right now there is a lot of legitimacy in terms of the vote of confidence that we see on Parliament. Now, the Malaysian King has been called, and this is from the Straits Times of Singapore, whether Ismail Sabri have the 114 MP that is needed to verify. Now, if you look back in terms of our political situation, he was sworn in on the 21st of August. Very important, and what we want to have, because our Parliament has this 222 seats, okay, Parliament, and the majority is just 112. Can you imagine he have 114? If two person like the frog cabut what's going to happen? Another one, right? So that is why he is playing the right cards right now. He is appealing to the opposition. Look, our country, Malaysia, we all agreed we have a very big problem ahead. The economic recovery, many people is on job, many businesses are closed. If you go down to the recent, I just went to the restaurant, many of the shopping malls were just dead, no people at all. And this round, the third wave of the COVID-19 with the Delta variant has decimated everybody. I've not even been outside of the Klang Valley because I'm from the Klang Valley in here, so I have not seen it yet. And I heard what I've seen so far, it's very, very bad. So what they do know on hand is that our new Prime Minister, with the benefit of Dato Ismail Sabri, will focus definitely with the opposition on the COVID recovery. Now that the political is aside, so he has only a majority of +2 votes. That could be from Sarawak in here, Sarawak, the PBS group, right? And you know anything can happen if one of the two person, like his own group, UMNO fellas, who do not support or decided to branch out, right? And you can see definitely this will forward. And also don't forget we have Zahid and also Najib currently will likely to appeal their case. Now once you are convicted, okay, you will lose your parliamentary seat and there will be another re-election. So those two seats itself, these two top big wheat in UMNO, again, it's going to side this thing back to the opposition, which is the Pakatan Harapan in here, even despite all the backings that you have from the independent, the PBS, and also the PAS party in here. Very, very slim majority. Of course, to be comfortable, it's better he reach about 118 seats up there. So this is also important. Now let's look at when is the next election. Now having said that, he is sworn in on August 2021. Now, if you look back on the mandate, the 5-year mandate, the last time when we had our election was the GE14 was the 16th of July 2018, first set in. So automatically it have to be dissolved by June 2023, so which is a 5-year mandate. Of course, the earliest election we will see will likely to be maybe August 2022, but very unlikely. We will probably see how well he performed into July 2020. So as much as it is, our Malaysian economy and political situation is still like a piece of white paper. Nobody really know what's going to happen. It's really on clean slate. We have not have an outsider really from what we have seen so far early on, like Najib, Mahathir, Muhyiddin. Now we have Ismail Sabri in here. So it is yet to be seen how Ismail Sabri will make his move. Definitely right now, the Deputy Prime Minister, another one has been talked whether it's going to be Ismail. If it's going to be Ismail, that is going to be a lot of political turmoil coming in here. It is also very, very unfavorable, okay, as such as we've seen that. So Ismail Sabri has to play his move well, and that's one of the first things he did right today, just before this, was actually to talk to Pakatan Harapan and get everyone to focus on the COVID-19 recovery, which is very important. We have seen many countries relying on this to get the economy back in there. All right, so this is one thing. So going next, the next what we call the next at least 18 months before we have any election. The earliest we have will likely to be March 2023. So take note, we have about more than about 18 months. So during this 18 months, how much of the COVID-19 can it be controlled, as well as we've seen the vaccination and herd immunity that we reach. Most important right now, I think many of you would have known, is not to look at number of COVID cases. Even in US right now, we have about 150,000 cases per day. But talk about hospitalization and death. That's the most important one. If you have, give you an example, in UK, we have about maybe 36,000 cases in there, but the number of deaths is only about 200. In Malaysia, we have about 253, right? But the cases of death in UK is definitely, and also in Israel, we have a few thousand, but there's only about 7 or 8 people dying. Check it out in there. So the number of death per hospitalization is important. That's where they have a full control. When they have the full control, they really open up, as well as open up the tourism in here. And this was on Malaysia Kini, just came out. You could see the opposition leader joining in with a joint statement to focus on the COVID action, because the last prime minister that we have, the 8th prime minister Muhyiddin, didn't do a good job in there, and he was just scouting what he can to have his position protected, but unfortunately due to the previous inaction, and we had a situation where Prime Minister Muhyiddin had to resign, and that's why we come to this position. So right now we are starting off from a clean slate. Let's see going forward for the next couple of months, at least for next 6 months, the focus will be on COVID recovery in here. So he's actually garnering support from the other camp. A very good move. Do you agree what I've said? If you agree, just give me a thumbs up in here. Now also, let's look at the past general election, just to recap where we had, for those of you who may not know the last past election. So we're going to be taking a look at it, how the market has fared so far. All right, now if you look in the scheme of things, the last election, starting back from where we have, will be in the 2008, the general election number 12. That's where we have our global financial crisis. Now we had it on 8th of March. Take note now, most of our general election always happen in March. That is why I concluded if we do have one, will be March 2023, either March or May. So you can see here in 2008, let me just bring up the laser pointer. We had our 2008, the election was on 8th of March, and then immediately we saw also Pakatan, the Barisan Nasional won. The market went up just up 12 points, 12% in here, but later on continue to slide again. They are not protected, what we've seen in the global financial crisis, what we have inside here. So this was GE12, okay, GE12. And then we go on to GE 13, that was on 5th of May, right? You can notice, GE12, the year is 5 years, almost 5 years. And Barisan Nasional won 133 seats. The Pakatan have about 89. And after winning, you can see, 6th of May in here, this is where Najib came in and mandated, right? And the market continued to move up in a very nice one, about 7% move. But we were all-time high. That was the best time our market ever reached. Can you imagine? We were at 1863, and right now we are just below 1650. Sorry, 1600. We are right now at 1567. That was almost talking about 8 years ago. We are not going higher, if you compare to S&P 500 and the US, we have definitely gone higher in here. Then we move on to 2018, right? On the 9th of May, okay, so it's May or March. On general election number 14, then we saw Pakatan Harapan won a major 104 seats for PKR. DAP got 9, and then we have Barisan 8. So you got 17, you got 121. Until 2020, the Sheraton move you saw on the March, where we have the Prime Minister, the 8th Prime Minister Muhyiddin came in, and sometimes they call it the backdoor government. So what has happened in India when Pakatan took over, the country was in the worst shape than it is. The market slide further because the Pakatan Harapan were untested. So this round, I think what the opposition should do in terms of the Pakatan Harapan is to work with the current Prime Minister to ensure that they are in the liking mode, not in the attacking mode. And if they're in liking mode, come GE15, the Pakatan was going to give this current government. I'm not sure whether current government should be a Perikatan Nasional or is it a UMNO branch. That one I still don't know yet, okay? I'll let the group people here to judge what I'm saying in here. But again, if you look at the market, what we've seen so far, market continued to fall just like overall the world events, which means if world events have any slam down, our market will follow too. But right now, as I said before, the COVID cases as well as the economic situation, the political situation has been removed. That fog has been removed. Our market can resume this upwards in here. So on the general election 15, that's right. So it is likely to be July 2023. My take is going to be March 2023. Right, or May 2023, somewhere around that one. So where is going to go? Are we going to go lower? No. So right now we have almost 18 months from where we started off on August 16, 1502. Will the market hit 1700? I really doubt it. Can the market lower? I don't think we can go lower. So very likely it's just going to move up and down, move and down. It's going to be range bound, ladies and gentlemen. Range bound, which means you have to trade buy low and then sell high, right? It's not a holding kind of environment where you buy and try to hold it out. I don't think it's going to work out that way. So the strategy going forward is going to be buy when you have some sort of support or the pullback. So technical readings is very important. Using the Pentagon Guider will definitely be a plus. Now, the next second part of this presentation tonight, I'm going to talk about the Economist outlook for Malaysia, and this is dated on the August 16, very new one in here by Dr. William Thomas, one of the directors working out from the Southeast Asia group, and he is going to give a perspective, again a very high view on perspective from Malaysia. Right now, let's take a look and on this here. Now, the road of recovery, looking back at the G20 companies in here, including some ASEAN country in here, Malaysia currently is here. You can see this one here. So Malaysia is here. We are here at the third quarter of 2021. Definitely different country, we have different recovery. Like I just said before, what is in place for us is how fast we get out from the COVID Delta variant and put in some perspective for control. Like you see, Singapore did it very well, and they are very, very tight about having COVID to fall back in. It's very important. Even if the number of cases continue to drop, number of deaths continue to drop, we should not have another spike, which is our fourth wave. Right, we have the Lambda variant also haven't come back to Malaysia. So we want to ensure we don't have that. If we have that, another economy, we will see another stock market slide down, right? What we've seen. Because, like it or not, unlike US, what we have seen in Malaysia, the government are willing to shut down all economic activity. Look at the shopping malls. Right, only thing that is running are those manufacturing in here, and those are the ones continue to have many cases that we've seen in the hospital. So right now, everyone is seeing through vaccine rollout to restart their investment and restart their hiring in here. So looking into 2022, maybe Q2. So take note. Now, when we say Q2 2022, that doesn't mean you buy at Q2 2022. You buy much earlier, okay? Q2 2022 is when you want to take profit already. So along the way, what we're trying to say is, if they were going to have another election, should they have election on Q2 or Q3 2022, that's when you need to take some profits. If they have the general election 15 in here, if they're not going to have it in here, we're likely to see this market, depending where we are we going to hit 160 or 170? So along the way, I will be with you the next at least 6 to 9 months. Continue to join me on live AB. I will take you through the 2022 and the end 2021 to see what we said today on the 25th of August will be first part of our political navigation in here. Now, of course, let's look at our Malaysian general outlook so far that we've seen. And definitely the GDP growth last year was in minus 5.6, of course. 2021 we were forecast to be 5%, but we drop off a bit, 4.4. This is also again due to the Delta variant in here. We started off vaccine in February. We are expected to hit not mid 2022, but more likely to be October, November 2022. And you all know, even the last few days, some of the non-Klang Valley, Sabah, Sarawak, they're running out of vaccine. Even in Sabah, they are complaining too. And one of the ways that a lot of the local companies that have done very well are the export base. We've seen Inari showing up with a very good earnings, JF Tech, UWC. So these are a lot of the semiconductors and electrical services, and also EMS too. Not to forget, like SKP Resources and ATINS, those are booming due to the global demand that is booming. And also not to forget the DNO, the electric car. Tesla has been very hot, coming up with a Model Y, which will be available in Europe soon. So all those are panning out to the support of the services in here. Now going forward 2022-25, how we intend to be growing up. They'll always like to talk about private consumption, but I don't think private consumption, it will be strong. Inflation will still stay pretty much in control in here, but what will take a hit will be the palm oil, US palm oil ban, okay? And that to me, it's a big question mark right now. No doubt the ban so far has given the prices of the palm oil shooting up to 4,300, 4,200. We have seen also today IOI Corp, Hapsing, THS all have very good earnings due to the higher margins by the CPO prices in here. But more importantly is, do we see more demands, okay, going forward? But definitely the US ban in here has put us in a very difficult spot. But remember, once the COVID-19 reopen, you will see palm oil prices coming down because they are able to harvest it. One of the reasons that plantation remain to be prices are high because of non-harvesting, no workers out there to work on this palm oil. And also political situation, I think I've talked very quickly on that one. Now this is again from an economy stand view. They were talking about RCEP and CPTPP. Now RCEP are those agreements that Malaysian have with the ASEAN border, again with the US G20 in here. Free trade zone, yes or no, buying and exporting, all those, right? So what, because with the parliament been suspended and just been recently opened, we have seen this already back, and the increase of executive power is important because right now two things. After you count in the COVID-19 cases, right, then you also have to focus on on a lot of the trade bilateral agreement in here. And again, the 12th Malaysian plan has been delayed, but likely to focus reducing reliance on oil and gas sectors, tourism, and the social safety net. Now you have seen before, a lot of people are still unemployed out there. And they also expect election within the next 12 months, so which is from now to July next year. Okay, now of course everyone is trying to become the technology hub of Asia in here. So very important that many countries are competing. So from here onwards you could also see, right, here Malaysia is one of the readiness to become infrastructure. We are not the so-called the top 10, definitely the top 10 or the top 5, Singapore, Hong Kong, New Zealand, Australia, Taiwan are in there, but we are just below Japan. So which means in terms of technology, we are still there. English speaking, a very diverse workforce, relatively cheap to do business in here. And I think in many ways, compared to Thailand, China, Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, in terms of technology rollout, I think foreign funds will definitely. So that's why I said once the economy reopen up, it is important that our government, with all the ministry going out to attract all this technology and bringing back the jobs. So this is important. So going forward, once Ismail Sabri come out with his cabinet lineup, it's important to see that he goes on to do this. So what I'm trying to say here now is I'm providing a framework for you, right, to see these are the things that the ministry of the country need to do going up for the next 18 months, because Ismail Sabri is going to prove himself in the next 18 months. If he cannot prove himself in the 18 months, he also finished tapa already, okay? Then you will have the 10 prime minister coming in. Could it be of opposition party, or could it be from the existing party? I wonder, you call it the Perikatan or you call it the Barisan Nasional. So still unsure yet. We are still very liquid, the situation in here. So going forward, reliance on the household income growth. If you look at Malaysia, continue to grow at 4% on the cumulative growth rate, in terms of how well we're going. It's not fantastic, to be frank with you, compared to Singapore. We are slightly better off than Thailand, right? But remember, Thailand are growing at 5% from a lower base, Philippines 6%, Vietnam at 8%. So what I'm saying is, give it another 5-10 years, we will be behind Philippines and Vietnam. So if you don't get our act right, and I do think that many of our local people do know that too, especially our population finding very difficult jobs, talents have been lost, and the income are shrinking. Definitely, I have talked about the losing middle income that we've seen. We've seen the poor, a lot of the middle income class has become poorer, so they're moving to the so-called top 40. Okay, you have the B40, middle 40, and top 40. So a lot of them, middle 40 are moving to the bottom 40. Okay, and that's very scary in here. In terms of private consumption growth, Malaysia are slightly better than more of the country willing to spend and willing to consume. You can see here the 2020. Right, we are ahead in terms of China. Of course, you may say, why China so slow? I thought it's been China big population, 1.7 billion. Malaysia only 30 million only. Thailand about 150 billion. So when you divide it by the number of people, that's what they all drop off in here. Singapore less. Singapore only 6 million, correct? As you can see, right? So definitely they are a bit higher over there. So this is how you want to use this thing here. So right now the Western media, especially from the Reuters, are painting a very, very negative picture in here. And this is from a Reuters, a very well-known journalist called Billy Malat. And he said that if Ismail Sabri is 60, right, I think he's turning 60, Ismail Sabri Yaakob become the Malaysian Prime Minister, expected it will be the return of UMNO to the leadership after 3 years is defeat on the widespread corruption. We all know about 1MDB, right? So the question has always been, is Ismail Sabri another corrupt leader? What do you think? I don't think so. So I hope we as Malaysian can prove to this Western journalist, Reuters journalist, that Ismail Yaakob could be something of great. He has something to prove to everybody, right? I know he has his own set of controversy, with his, the Lawyat case, then also the lunch and the dinner. I think you know about that, right? So he is out there to prove that maybe I can do this job, but with the right party and the right cabinet setup in here. All right. So having said that, we're going to be looking also at UMNO, since he is closely related to UMNO. So there is what we call, so we have created something for our pro dashboard in here, which is shares related to the UMNO, okay, gainer and decliner, and we have some live prices in here. So you can see from here, this will be updated every 15 minutes, so you can log on to your pro dashboard, and you can see Destiny, Excel Force, MYEG, Data Sonic. These are the past UMNO counter. If someone have anything new, do let me know. We'll just put it in there, and we're able to have a system monitor, Sarawak Cable, Gamuda, Molten, Chaya Mata, and Senso, right? And also one of those smaller ones will be Sardinia. All right, so what had happened in here, we will use this to monitor, but a lot of them already turned green pentagon, okay? So let me just show you what I mean. So let's take a look at the first one, D-Sonic. Important, you can see item number 1, this is from SMARTRobie. It's a forerunner for my card contract, that's August 9. And you can see inside new MD task of installing Data Sonic. So you have a new MD, Data Sonic, to secure more government contracts. So if you look from this standpoint, the seasonal monthly return, let me just show you how you do this. And okay, so this is a seasonal monthly return. Just go over to here, click on here. So once you get hold of this pro dashboard, all right, you can just type in the Data Sonic. You can see very easy to use. Once you log in first, and then type it in there, and then you click submit, and you will see right now what we see here. Okay. And you can see so far yearly return is about 10%, but Data Sonic, right, -9, -2. So right now with these so-called new government and the reopening of the economy, what we've seen so far, the -1% in here, I don't think year end is going to end up with a 1% for the total return. You can see the yearly returns in here. All right, let me just move my mouse here. It's about 10%. And right now we're about 1%. So I do think Data Sonic will start to move too. All right, that's my first take and my first clue. So next one is MYEG, another UMNO counter. This is linked to another Tan Sri, Wong Tiam Nam. Okay, you can see MYEG is latching on to blockchain and tokenization mega trend. MYEG earnings is growing. So again, they are going up to secure a lot of projects. Right, so here you can see, interesting enough, yearly return is 22%, right? And right now it's only 4%. Again, I think there's some up move for the next how many months, at least for September, October, November, and December. This month, August itself, you can see the big move. So we already saw, all right, what we have talked about in here. A lot of the UMNO related counter already started to move. So this is one way to really visualize what we are. So after you've done this seasonality one, next thing you do, you move over to your chart. You can use the SMARTRobie or you can use the plugin in here. But what we want to do is do it even better for you, which I'm going to share with you in here. For those of you who use the Pro Dashboard, tonight we're going to be releasing a new feature, which is the tree map, as well as the Pentagon watch list. Now, as a time for our current existing members, you get all these new tools without any extra cost. And for those of you who want to subscribe, definitely this is a great time to subscribe. The number is just below there in here, where you can get all our stock screener and our monthly return, as well as our Pentagon watch list. Now, if you look at Senzo, very interesting also, you can see Senzo has been going gangbang, okay? And this is one of the Najib counter who is into, I believe, a lot of chemical paints, up 117%. You can see in July up 100% itself. Lost a bit in here, but I think this one Senzo is already there. You can see in here, if you look at it, yearly average return is only 20%. So I would not try to push my luck in here. Again, I will wait for any pullback or any support before I want to do the trade. So Senzo, so there's a lot of these ideas, as I said before, and one way to really dwell into that is actually go into our Trade VSA Pro dashboard, and we have the UMNO counter watch list. Now, this is the latest feature that we want to do in our Pro dashboard, is our Pentagon watch list UMNO counter. So from time to time we'll come up with this. So right now we can see in here, Destiny has turned green Pentagon on the 20th of August. All right, now it's 25th, right? Just a few days ago. Excel Force 19, 18 August, 18 of August. And you can see these are what we call the entry, LT and ST. So we actually have a set of formula, and we will do this in our workshop, right? When is the best time to enter? Remember, we talked about the bottom fishing, right? So same thing, you can use the LT. So right now, Excel Force seems to be giving you this one in here, and Sarawak cable, not too bad. Once you get to this low number in here, the long term minus 1.5, that's the one you'll be going on. And let me just share with you how it looks like. For those of you who already have our Pro dashboard, just go over to this group here, and you can see the UMNO counter. When you click on that one, it takes you to UMNO, and this is updated every 10 minutes, you can see. So this here, let me just make it bigger for you. And of course, this is the one that you want to keep an eye. If you have the counter, just it will refresh by itself. And the other one is the premium alert for our Pentagon watch list. Okay, so this is the watch list that we have, and it will tell you what are those stocks currently right now we don't belong. So Destiny and Excel Force. So if you look at Excel Force is down 4%, so it's been moving up. So from then onward, you go on to your charts, right? And if you go into your charts in here, you can see Excel Force, ESOFE. So we have narrowed down from the top side to some of these stocks in here. You can see Excel Force switching to a daily chart. You can see here where the market start to turn on the 19th of August, right? Remember, Ismail Sabri was sworn in on the 21st, and today the market is down 4.42%, same as here, and that's a nice pullback. A lot of opportunity in here. So I'll show you where the opportunity, you just need to do the others. Okay, so these are the two new features that we are releasing in here, and we are debating right now. Go and check it out for the group, and those of you those of you who already are existing member and plug in, no additional cost, because we want to bring this to you for being a great supporter and a great fan. And for those of you who is thinking to subscribe to our Trade VSA plugin for all intraday stock screener that you see here, definitely this is the best time to do so. All right, let's move on to our next segment here. All right, so you can see that was what I've talked about, the UMNO counter and UMNO Pentagon. Of course, we take also feedback from our members. Somebody want to say, hey, can you do the Jewel 20 counters? That was from RHB. Can you do this type? Yes, we can definitely do that, because we are here and we listen to you. All right, so we can set this thing up so everyone can definitely use it in here. Okay, and these are the share related in here, and so two new features is the Pentagon watch list UMNO counter and the UMNO counter for price map, which you see main decliner. And so our plugin will teach you, and definitely we have installment plan for those who are interested, and we will help you to become an informal trader. Just that simple tools in here. So my summary for tonight, I think very important. Now we are coming to the end of it before we do the Q&A. We need to be very adaptive to the changing landscape. I presented you my opinion that we as Malaysian, I am optimistic going forward. With the lack of information, what's going to be happening, right? And I do think that the political situation has been resolved temporarily. We have reopening of the parliament. The opposition and the governments are talking. okay, all things were considered, but we still have the unknown certainty of the likelihood of the party, the 114 that Ismail Sabri have. Will there be a few more frogs going out? We yet to be known. Then second is the rollout of the vaccine. If everything goes well, the rollout of the vaccine can do it much faster. We can see this stock market going back to above 1600. All right. So most important, these are the few things I think we all should take note of. Be careful of any price surge that we have. Again, price and volume in here. You can see just now from the very short trade-in charts, you can see XL Force starting to move up. You can see XL Force a lot of rooms to go, and if you take from this point onwards, see how far you can go back up. That's another 28% up move. XL Force can go back up. You can see, right? Drop back down, and this was the distribution bar in here. There were others like D-Sonic. Okay, use your own Pentagon in here. You can see also turn green Pentagon. They don't turn green Pentagon for no reasons. Okay, so check it out in here. I'm giving you the. So next thing, also watch out for the strong price action and climatic volume. When you see a lot of climatic volume at the top, do take note. Ready to take profit. Be careful of the good news, right? When anything have good news, think to take profit. Right now, not many people talking about, so think to get in. Don't do the other way around. Okay, and don't be deceived by mainstream news. Always try to learn the news that is behind it, and most important, watch the foreign funds flow daily. All right, you can get it from our pro dashboard. Watch it. If you see more and more coming in, then we'll see this trend that we're seeing are sustainable. I think very importantly, these are the 5 takeaway I want to give you tonight in here. Foreign funds flows, right? The situation is getting better, not getting worse. All right. Okay, so meanwhile, focus on knowledge and training. As I said before, a lot of what we do in Trade VSA really push it onto our tools and development, so it's easier for you. If you're not, you can always help. And of course, one way is to upgrade your skill and learn what we talk about, price and volume. Upgrading your skill is very important. It is part and parcel of, when the opportunity comes, do you have the skill and the tools? Definitely our October intake is there for you to ensure you keep on with it. Of course, our regular coaches in here is there to share with you in our almost every day got training one, our private member sessions, when you become our plug-in in here. When you do and when you see and you're able to talk to ourselves plus our coaches here, you will be much better trader, and for sure. Right, and there's a lot of people saying good things about our check it out from our review in here. And of course, feel good to share with me what are the things that you like to have, what are things you want to learn, and we will build this too. Just like the UMNO counter, it's something that we built during this time, because some members are asking, what are those UMNO counter? If they are in green Pentagon, how do I know? How do I watch hold of it? And we have it for you right inside there. Of course, new things we continue to do. So that's all we have for tonight. I hope you all learned something tonight, the situation that I'm sharing with you in here. And don't forget to review us on Google Play Store and also on our Apple Play Store. And also for those of you who are interested to get our Trade VSA plugin, you can definitely call this number and inquire more to see what. But right now, I will take a few questions inside there. Okay. Lahi asked me for Pakatan Harapan counter. Also got. We do that next round, but this round, I think when the election comes, we do the Pakatan Harapan in here. Okay, GE14 was in May 2018, but on 90 days, but still hold the GE. Yes, that's correct. Okay, there was a question here. Safe to take position upcoming Jackson Hole Symposium. Jackson Hole Symposium almost ending over. It's 31st of August. But right now, the market is trending. As I said before, don't be deceived by the look at the charts. Okay? Any more questions about it? Do let us know. But basically, we pretty much covered tonight in here. And don't forget to give us a Google review in here. If not, I'll see you on Friday. Thank you again. Why does the pink color in UMNO? Pink color means it is not losing much. Dark red color means it is losing more than 3%. It's just the differentiation between heavy losses and light losses. You can see here. Let's go to here. Yeah, this one is minus 1%, minus 0.9, minus 4% will be red. Like the other day, all green. So a good day for UMNO counter definitely will be everything is all green. So enjoy this 3 map and enjoy the Pentagon watch list UMNO. Thank you. Bye bye.